Well, good day, guys. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a video based on the NRL that I've been looking forward to checking out. There's kind of two parts to this video as well. Obviously, I'm going to be reacting to the 2023 predictions. So let's get into it. So the first section will include this video here, which is my NRL 2023 ladder prediction. And then the second part of the video, which I've been doing for a few years now, I predicted every single NRL team's biggest upset of the year. So I'm going to be getting into that one as well, seeing what I got right and wrong. So let's get straight into it now, starting with the wooden spoon pick. The Newcastle Knights, there you go. Yeah, and I know a lot of teams had the Newcastle Knights around the bottom four. I was one of those people that just thought they weren't going to do much at all this year. But yeah, I was absolutely wrong about the Newcastle Knights. They were fantastic to watch throughout the season. Obviously, made finals as well. Were played part in a draw this season, and Kalen Ponga winning the Dally M Player of the Year. So this was a massive step in the wrong direction. 16th, the St. George Illawarra Dragons. Just going to check. Yes, 16. They did finish 16th on 16 points for the season. So yeah, I got that one right for the Dragon spot. Now in 15th, I had the Dolphins. It actually wasn't the Dolphins; it was the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs, who I remember I was quite high on. So the new boys on the block finished in 13th. 14th, I had the New Zealand Warriors. I don't think a lot of people had high expectation, and I've had them around my top eight, if not in my top eight, in my preseason predictions for the last 3 years. So, yeah, I wasn't expecting all that much. They get Roger back next year as well, so they're building towards it. But they're a fantastic side, finishing in fourth spot in the season. Let's move into the next one. So it was West Tigers in 13th. Well, there you go. They were back to back wooden spooners, finishing in 17th position for the season. I had them just a little bit higher because I thought they had room for improvement and they had some nice players as well. So I thought the West Tigers would be better than that. But 13th position is where I had them in the preseason pick. Now, next up was 12th position. And in 12th position was the Canberra Raiders, another team that actually finished inside the top eight. They finished, I just don't like that pose. Oh my God. There we go. That's better. Yeah, they finished in eighth position. They had an okay season. They weren't great by any means. Their for and against was absolutely ridiculous at minus 137. But yeah, they finished above 12th. So I was wrong there about the Canberra Raiders, who bowed out in week one of the finals against the Knights. Next up was the Gold Coast Titans. Now, the Titans had an okay season, but pretty disappointing to finish in the bottom four in 14th position, considering some of the victories that they had against teams like, I think they beat the Cowboys, the Bronco, the Storm. So, yeah, really disappointing for the Titans there. And I was a little bit higher than, 14th. And I think most people were fairly high on them as well. Next up is 10th, and I had the Manly Seagull. They ended up finishing in 12th. I didn't think they had a great season by any means. Injury clouded them again. There's going to be some changes to the side, so it's going to be kind of a new look Manly team next season, which I'm looking forward to what we see from the Seagulls coming up. But I had them in 10th. Yeah. Spend the money to prepare Tom Trbojevic. All right, ninth. This is a stupid one. Ninth, I had the Brisbane Broncos. I don't think anyone expected them to be, up there for the minor premiership this year. But I probably definitely should have had them within the top eight reach. So, yeah, that's a bit stupid on my part, considering how good their season was. And it came down to for and against winning that minor premiership as well. They had as many wins as the Penrith Panthers, who they faced in the final. But yeah, what did I have to say about the Broncos? Let's have a little look. Well, they spent the whole season in the eight. There you go. I got them in ninth. Now I remember this one. Oh God. Eighth, the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs. Now they finished in 15th position, right in their bottom four. Next year it's interesting. They've got Stephen Crichton, they've got Bronson Cherry, gotten rid of a lot of players to recruit a lot of new ones within the forward pack as well. You got Jamin Salmon coming, Takiyaho. So a really nice team. Maybe next year should have been that time I put them in the eight, but we've been putting them, or people like us have been putting them in the top eight in recent years, and they've been doing absolutely nothing. So I don't know what to say about the Bulldogs here. Next up, seventh position, I had the Parramatta Eels. Now, they finished 10th for the season. Really disappointing season from Parramatta. To be in the grand final and start the way they did. I thought their season started to get better around the middle and obviously really slipping away there at the end. But the start was absolutely terrible and very hard to watch the team at the start there. I did have them fairly low though. I did have them in seventh. So, all right, who we got in six? Six, we got the Cronulla Sharks. Absolutely perfect. The Sharks haven't been able to beat top eight sides in a long time, but there you go. The Cronulla Sharks finished in sixth position, so picked that one perfect, which is great. That's the first team I think that I've picked there. Actually, no, I picked the Dragons in 16th at their exact position as well. But yeah, the Cronulla Sharks finishing in sixth position for 2023 was a bang on. Yeah, how will they go on the road? Oh, the South Sydney Rabbitohs in fifth. They finished in ninth position, missing the finals after being, at the top of the ladder early in the season as well. They had injury and suspension, I think, to Latrell Mitchell throughout the year as well. Cody Walker played some fantastic football, but obviously the Rabbitohs missing out on the finals. Now, fourth, I had the Sydney Roosters. I know a lot of people were very high on this team coming into the season. I know a lot of people had them as premiers. They've got a great side on paper, but we've seen in recent years, again, this is one of those teams that's been really overhyped and just nothing to show for it. They finished in seventh, though. They went on a really big run to make the top eight. So it was great effort there from the Roosters. And I guess they were in the top eight, but I'm not really counting that as close. Third, I had the Melbourne Storm. I was exact on this one. Last year, I had the Melbourne's. Geez, these frames are bad. There we go. Yeah, last year I had the Melbourne Storm to finish outside of the top four. They were knocked out in that last game by Parramatta and finished in fifth position where I had them. Whereas this year I had them in third and they were two games behind the Broncos and the Panthers. So a pretty nice season from the Melbourne Storm. There were definitely some questionable moments, but for the most part, for a team that's lost players, over the last couple of years, thought they did really, really well. Now, in second, I had the Penrith Panthers. I knew that the Penrith Panthers were going to be up there as at least a top two, not top three team for the season. They obviously finished with the minor premiership, but they easily could have finished in second if things didn't go their way in favour of the Brisbane Broncos finishing first. So this was very, very close to actually coming true. Whereas I think most people would have had them as minor premiers. So, yep, yep. Don't ask me what I was smoking when I picked the North Queensland Cowboys to win the Mine Premiership. They had a great season in 2022 and really regressed into 11th spot. They went on a bit of a run this year as well, especially around Origin time. I think they got a lot of confidence with Cotter, Tamalolo, Reese Robson, Reese Robson's okay, and Scott Drinkwater playing absolutely brilliant. Tom Dearden, big season from him as well. So, look, I expect the Cowboys to be better than they were last year, but I definitely don't think that they're going to be minor premiers anytime soon. So, as for that ladder, the Melbourne Storm in third, the Cronulla Sharks in sixth, and the Dragons in 16th were the three teams that I did get right. Let's have a look at some other predictions. Well, that was the grand final, and I did have the grand final to be the North Queensland Cowboys taking on the Storm. Obviously, I was high on the Cowboys on the season. They had the Storm winning the premiership, I think, and obviously they were only one game away from it. If they beat the Panthers, who I think they scored to equal it up, and then they got blown out. I don't think they scored first. I could be mistaken, but I feel like Penrith might have scored first, and or maybe the Storm scored first, and then Penrith just they put on a demolition job there in a prelim, and obviously went to the grand final and won it as well. So I was wrong about those two teams. Went a little bit bold there as well. Did I have anything else? No, there you go. So that's it for the ladder prediction side of things. So let's have a look at this one, which is predicting every NRL team's biggest upset for 2023. So the Broncos. Who are the Broncos going to be? Okay, I said in round 23, the Broncos will beat the Cowboys. Just want to have a look. Pretty sure they did win that game. Pretty sure it was at Townsville. It was a Saturday game, and it was the Broncos winning 30-14. So, I'm kind of counting that one because of the form of the Cowboys at the time. However, the Broncos were a much better team than the Cowboys by a long shot throughout the season. All right, so the Bulldogs to defeat the Rabbitohs in round number 19. I actually think this did happen purely because Origin players were out. Yeah, it did. But the Bulldogs defeated the Rabbitohs 36-32 in that match. They did get the win. Next up was the Cowboys defeating the Roosters. Now, that was a good one to get purely because of, it was a magic round and the Roosters were absolutely the better team. The Cowboys had a very poor start to the season, and they weren't expected to win that game. And I don't think I tipped them in that week. But here you go. Preseason picking that is pretty cool. Let's move into stupid ads. So Cowboys defeating the Roosters. We are 3 from 3 so far. Next up, I said that the Dolphins will defeat the Seagulls. Now, pretty sure in this game, the Dolphins actually conceded 50 points. So absolutely wrong. Brookvale show in this one. Round number 15, I'm almost certain that the Dolphins got flogged. It was a Friday night game. Round number 5, the Dragons defeat the Dolphins. Now, the Dolphins went into this game as favourites. I think it might have been their second loss of the season because they started the season really well. And the Dragons were really struggling. But the Dragons, I think they won 36-12, something like that. I remember watching that game out at dinner. And yeah, that's another one I've picked. So pretty good record there so far. Okay, next up, round 24, Eels defeat the Brisbane Broncos. This game was at the Gabba. Parramatta got absolutely flogged. I think it was like 56-10, something like that. Yeah, really poor performance. This is a game where Mitch got injured as well at halftime. Absolutely wrong with that prediction there. Next up was the Newcastle Knights. Now, I said that in round 12, the Knights will defeat the Sharks. Let me just have a look at that because I don't think I got that one right. Yeah, no, round 12 was it was a 26-6 win for the Cronulla Sharks over the Knights. I think from memory it might have been at Coffs Harbour as well. I don't know if it was. Yeah, it was at Coffs Harbour. One try to Kalen Ponga there and just not much else from the Newcastle Knights. I was wrong about that one. The Penrith Panthers, round 15 to defeat the Roosters. In recent years, the Panthers have been very dominant over the Roosters. However, I just thought maybe the Roosters would give them, a bit of a crack this year, and everyone being really hyped in the Roosters coming into the season and people thinking it's a potential grand final. So, look, I'm not going to count that one as such. However, if you are watching, let me know if you think I should count this because of that preseason hype. Round 27, the Rabbitohs to defeat the Roosters. Well, it was the Roosters getting the final spot in the top 8, knocking the South Sydney Rabbitohs out of finals football. So I was wrong about this one as well because Rabbitohs' form really dropped off in those last couple rounds. Round five, Raiders to beat Panthers. I'm pretty sure games where teams score like 40 to 50, I keep picking wrong, like that Dolphins game, like that Eels game. And here again, the Raiders. Remember the Panthers, maybe like 53 to 12 or something like that. I remember there was a late field goal or a halftime field goal in this game, but the Raiders got absolutely flogged in their poor start to the season. Okay, round number seven, the Roosters defeat the Sharks. Now, I think when I tipped this throughout the season, I tipped the Sharks, but obviously preseason said the Roosters. Wasn't really an upset because the Roosters have won their last maybe nine straight against the Sharks, something like that. It's a crazy record. But the Sharks actually beat the Roosters at PointsBet Stadium this year, so yeah, not counting that one. And to be honest, I don't know why I kind of picked that one. Okay, so Manly defeat the Storm in round number seven. Now, this is actually one of my games of the year. I really enjoy this game, as I spoke about previously. It's a bit of a grind early on. The Storm went into its favourites, Battle of Brookvale, but the Melbourne Storm were defeated 18 points to 8 by the Seagull. There was some great crunch tackle, some great penalty goals equaling up the game. Yeah, really enjoyed this game. And Manly defeat Storm was definitely an upset because I think this Manly might have been paying about $2.90 to $3 there. Round two, Sharks defeat Eels. Well, yes, it was a Bankwest Stadium or Combank Stadium as well for that game. I was coming back from America trying to watch this game, and I had to watch it when I got back on the car. But yeah, the Sharks really lucky to win that game against the Eels. I think they mostly led it, but Parramatta were really coming home late in the game, 30 points to 26 in a high scoring one. But the Sharks defeating the Eel. And, the Sharks didn't go to the grand final the previous year. So that's going to count as an upset. Now, round number 16, I picked the Melbourne Storm to defeat the Sydney Roosters. Just want to have a look at that one. I actually can't remember the result of the game. Round number 16, they played each other three times. Just trying to find the round 16 result, but can't seem to find it. Round number 16. Here we go. No, that's 2021. This is annoying me. Storm Roosters round 16. Yeah, well, the Storm won both time or all three times actually against the Roosters, 30 to 16 in round number 16. So there you go, a 14-point win for the Storm in that one, and it was a Roosters home game for that game as well. I think it might have been maybe at the SCG actually. I think it was played at the SCG due to the Women's World Cup. But again, Roosters really hyped about the season, so yeah, counting that one. Round number 10, Titans defeat Eels. Now, I knew that me not going to Magic Round all led to a Titans victory. The Titans defeat the Eel. Can't remember the score off the top of my head. I know Blaze is probably watching this right now going, yep, 26-24. Yep, 26-24. Say it. Titans beat Eel. There you go. Titans defeat the Eels 26 to 24 in that game. I think it was their first win against us in about 3 years as well. So really nice for the Titans there at Magic Round, adding to Parramatta's woeful start to the year. There you go. So round number 15, I wasn't high on the Warriors. However, I did have the Warriors defeating the Raiders. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this was Jared Croker's milestone game, which is a crazy prediction. I know in round 21 they played and it went to Golden Point, but the Warriors went to Canberra and won by 22 points, massive scoreline. I'm going to listen to what I had to say about this one because I know it's a road game too. There you go. Warriors on the road, and I picked them to win a massive away game against the Roosters. Oh, sorry, against the Raiders. And then Tigers beat the Cowboys at Leichhardt. Obviously, I had the Cowboys being minor premiers going into the season. I had the Tigers, I think, 13th. So this is a massive upset. It's meant to be the last game at Leichhardt as well. And not only did the Tigers win, well, they didn't win the game at Townsville, but at this Leichhardt game, the Tigers absolutely put on a score, 66 points to 18 in this game over the Cowboy. And the Cowboys, I think, from this moment, absolutely went on a winning streak, started playing much better footy, and obviously beat the Tigers after about a month after this game, 74 points to nil in revenge. But at this game, at Leichhardt, lots of tries, 11 tries, and there was hat tricks, I think. Stafford Toa, no, he scored a double. So, yeah, a big performance there from the West Tigers. So, just checking. So, I had 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no, we're not going to count them. Nope. Nope. 5. They were fairly close. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 from 17 in the NRL, every team's biggest upset of the year. So that's a wrap on my predictions for the season that was. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know what your favorite moment is in the comments. Let me know what you want to see in the NRL offseason. Check out the NBA and NFL content that I have been posting for you guys. If you're new around here, subscribe to the channel. And I'm really looking forward to some videos, magic round draw. I've got my round 1 draw prediction video out now as well. And I'll see you guys later.